Hi guys, good evening. Like I promised you guys, I have come up with the YouTube tutorial on how to program uh, Indian rhythms and make it sound live, like a live session. Okay, there are two things I have to say in the beginning, starting of this YouTube tutorial. The thing is, I am doing this video mainly for educational purpose. Okay, if you guys have the budget and time to record live drums, you should do it. Please do it, because that is the livelihood of many artists over there in India. So if you can afford the money and the time, please do that, and consider this as a educational video, because you should know this too to make your sound big. Okay, so if you layer whatever you're doing in the programming, whatever you're producing, if you mix live and layer with it, it will sound much more huge. But I'll teach you some good techniques in which you can manage, like in Western countries they do mock projects, mock arrangements. Okay, after they do the mock arrangements, they'll record all those strings and brass and everything. Basically what they are doing is to make the orchestra listen to it and get an idea of how they have placed instruments, what the dynamics are and everything. So consider this as a mock production for taking lives. But I'll be giving you tips which will make it sound almost real, because those mock projects which the Westerners do, that also sounds very real actually, just like an orchestra playing. So consider this the same way, like a mock setup. Okay, so this is the beat we are going to be discussing about. That is what this is the same thing which I have looped 4 times, so you will have an idea. Nothing, there is no changeovers or anything, so that's why I stopped in the middle. Okay, now we'll listen to each and every track in solo, 8 bars. Okay, okay, this is the second track. Okay, if you listen to the tracks individually, it will sound shitty, I know that. Okay, fifth track, sixth track, seventh track, eighth track, ninth track, 10th track, 11th track, 12th track, 15th, 16. So when you listen to each track individually, some tracks sound okay, some tracks sound very mechanical, and some tracks sound like absolute shit. You know why it is happening? I'll tell you, I'm going to explain that to you, okay? What I have created here is a loop in which I have imagined 4 or 5 people playing the instruments, the duffs. So 4 or 5 people playing, and how it will sound. That is what I tried to recreate, okay? In the process, I have distinguished the tracks into 2 varieties. So when you look at the screen, you'll know one is yellow and one is green. Some of the tracks are yellow and some of the tracks are green. Why did I color these tracks like that? Why did I separate them like that? I'll show you now. Listen to this track. So when you listen to these tracks, you'll know that this is perfectly quantized, okay? So let's hear it with a click. So it is perfectly quantized. But what I feel lacking in this is the groove, the swing. It is not sounding like a live thing, okay? It is sounding mechanical. The groove is correct, but the feel is not there. The dynamics is not there. Whenever you play live, there will be some this thing slack in the tempo, some slack in the playing, which comes because of the feel of each person's playing, okay? So now we listen to the yellow track, right? Now we listen to the green track. This is sounding more in the groove. You know why? Because this is unquantized. This is not quantized. Absolutely zero quantization, okay? And I have played it in my own feel. So there is little dynamics to it. Not perfect dynamics, little dynamics to it, because my tones, all the tones which I have played here was sampled by me. So the patches, they don't have much dynamics in their sampling. So when there is no dynamics in the sampling, while you program, you have to, there will be some limitations to it, okay? So now let's hear it with a click. Do you see there is a slight delay in that playing actually? So that is how the feel comes in when people play it live. That is what makes it more human. So what I always do is I program some tracks in proper quantization, or I program the main bass and main mix of the pattern in quantization, and the high range, high frequency things I play without quantization. So it makes it more natural sounding. Now let's listen to both together. Now you'll hear the difference. When both mixed together, it sounds a little bit okayish. But if you ask me, if this is max you can do, no, this is definitely not the max I can do. I can do much better. I can do like 10x, 20x, 30x better than this. But this is to give you an idea. See, if I do a proper beat like I do in my mainstream work, it will be too much for you to explain and too much for you to understand. So this is, as I told you, this is the basics of rhythm programming. And as videos goes by, and with your reception, like how you receive my videos, I'll be definitely making more videos in explaining all the proper mainstream techniques, okay, and make how to make your rhythm programming sound professional. So that at all is there. But for the starting, this is something you should know, because always when you program, you need to have a unquantized version and a quantized version. If you are programming Western drum beat sounds, then you can be in perfect quantization. That's not a problem. Why? Because you will not be using 10 bass drums and 10 snare drums to do your rhythm programming when you do Western stuff. You'll be having one single drum, one bass drum, and one snare. So they definitely need to be in quantization to do. But I have seen people in boom bap beats and all, they do wantedly push the bass drum little bit or the snare little bit to make it sound different and get that proper boom bap beat feel. That is up to you. But when you do Western stuff, it's mostly in quantization. But when you do Indian rhythm thing, some of it should be in quantization, because you need to have a proper beat, and some of it can be in non-quantized way like I have done now. So this is one thing. The second thing is, always pay attention to your highs. Okay. This is what I have played in. I'll give you an idea about how the pattern changes when the highs changes. So till here, so this is the opening pattern. Let's see. Let's think that way. Okay, now I'll change the pattern from here. Okay. See, I change the pattern here, and my quantization is 1/8 triplet, 1/12 58. For this pattern, I felt that Q swing is enough. If you want more Q swing, it's up to your taste. So the next one. See the pattern here. I'll give you one more example. See, now just because the eyes changed, we got a differentiation in the same rhythm programming, same pattern. It's the same pattern, but we are getting three different feels. Okay, This is a different field. This is a different field. So this is why I was telling you the high frequency is a very big plays a very essential part in the pattern you do. So please concentrate whatever you play in the high frequencies, because they can just by playing the mids and bass and the low mids and high mids can play the same pattern, but the high frequency can change the entire feel of the feel of the pattern. This is one more point I wanted to discuss with you. Later, next thing is the bass. The bass, wait, I'll copy from here. Put it over here. Okay. Now, what is this is the bass, okay. What is that? Okay, I'll mute this. I'll mute this also. I'll paste highs this pattern here, okay. So I want to change the pattern a little bit. How can I do it? Without changing the top, mids and this thing, just by changing the bass pattern. So I change the mid pattern here. I'm layering it, okay. And I'll go with one more solid bass so that it will sound different. I'll use this one. It needs to load. Sometimes my computer says no, like this. this, you can change the pattern a lot. Okay, that takata 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 takata, it's a loop which can go continuous. So this is one application to this pattern. Okay, to this particular pattern, you can do this many changes just by changing the highs, just by changing the bass. And similarly, for other pattern, you can do the same thing by changing the highs, changing the bass. So both of this is very important in designing a pattern. The bass first, okay, the mids next, and the highs last. If you do that way, the basic pattern which you think in your mind, like if you are thinking first, the first thing you have to do is you have to play that. You have to go with the bass first. Then you have to program the mix. Then you have to go with highs. So I'll be giving you more examples in the future on how to do it. But I'm just giving you an introduction to it right now. Consider this video purely an introduction to what I'm going to be teaching you in the future. Okay. So I hope this was useful to you. And you guys might ask, like, where did you get these tones? Where can we get these tones? Okay. Please listen to me carefully. I have like 40-50 patches of this tape and all other Indian tones and stuff, which I have been sampling for almost 10 to 12 years. Okay, it's not like I got them from somebody or I bought it or anything. Okay, any programmer or any music producer, okay, who is passionate about doing something has to put in some kind of work in your in your career. Okay, you have to create some stuff. If you ask me how to create patches like this, I'll definitely teach you that. But don't go and ask anybody to give your Indian patches, or where did you get those patches, can you give it to me. Don't do that, please. It sounds very amateurish. You guys can create your own patches. I'll tell you how to create your own patches in the upcoming videos. Okay, it is very simple. Sampling nowadays has become so simple. Okay, not like previous things we have to get hold of a loop, cut it into single tones, and we have to sample it in battery or sample it in EXS24. Now you just have to drag and drop it and it becomes a sampler patch. I'll tell you the different kinds of sampler patches and how to do it and everything in upcoming videos. But just put it in your mind that you have to create your own patches when it comes to Indian patches. There is some patches available in the market. Okay, people are selling it. If you can get hold of it, well and good. But that is not the thing. Then the entire world becomes same sampling patches. Nah, I don't like that thing. You need to have some kind of personal touch to your sampler patches. Okay, it's like showing off. Like people show off. Like when you were younger, you used to show off your WWF cards, or the caps you have, or the watches you have, or the cars you have. For me, I don't care about any cars or watches or anything. I care about what kind of tones I have and what kind of sampler patches I have sampled, and what I do with them is very important for me, because that I am that passionate about music production. I hope you guys who are seeing my videos are equally passionate about your music production. So only then you can understand what I'm teaching you here, and it won't be boring for you. Okay, thank you for listening to me patiently all this time. Let's soon meet in another video. Okay, thank you, man. Bye.